Welcome, friends. We're so happy to have you.
Yes, and we need our slides too. Not that I can't speak without slides, but I'm like, I need slides.
Working on it. Give me 1 second.
Sure thing. Well, I can just get started with just kind of echoing some of the stuff that Brittany was sharing, literally just filling time because she just gave you the most gracious thank you and welcome. We are so excited that you're here this evening. And I guess the thing that I can start chatting about before we get into the slideshow is that you may have attended this event last year, and you may have learned that we were in a very, very tough spot last year. Some of the things we were sharing was about how we had to contract our staff. And I am very excited to say that today's town hall is going to have a very different feeling and a very different story behind it for where the organization is right now, because we have had 1 year of enormous change, starting with the fact that I am speaking to you with the title Executive Director in partnership with my executive leader, Cameron, who is our deputy director out of Houston. She's going to be sharing quite a bit more, but I do not want to dwell on the leadership transition because we actually shared a ton about that at a few other events recently. And what I'd really love to dwell on is what we have been up to with girls and how we have put dollars into action and into empowerment throughout this past year. So let's dive in. I think the slide after this says welcome. So we are so excited yet again to share this news with you. We conduct every town hall with so much joy because we're really focused on what we have done well and what we're proud of. But this one has quite a bit of extra joy because of how we have resiliently navigated the past year. And when the staff that was putting together the town hall slides had everything ready, I was literally the last person to go in and put mine in. They had all these other slides that come in that thank the many, many supporters, sponsors, donors, volunteers, community collaborators, all the people who make up that network outside of us as a staff and a board that they wanted to shout out. And I was like, I simply must start by shouting out this staff themselves and the board that helped guide us over the past year, because we really have been through an enormous amount of change. And some of that was planned and we knew was coming this year, and others were not. Some change just popped up on us. But I wanted to share every single person by name here to just really give a moment to talk about how, when we had to begin this fiscal year with 1/3 less staff members than we usually had, we did not decrease our goals. We did not take a step back from the community and say, you know what, like we actually are going to serve less girls this year. The only way that we said we're going to give ourselves a little breathing room is that we temporarily suspended our camp program because we knew we were going to have to pour into a school year where we had just as many girls as every other year who needed us with them. So I just have to say another huge thank you to this staff for going above and beyond, and for the board that was with us on this journey, supporting us and helping us make all of this happen. Because as you will see, our numbers did not go down and our impact did not go down, even though we had to do a lot more with less. So I feel extra, extra, extra grateful for the folks that were on this journey with me and Cameron over the past year. And I will just leave it at that because the rest of the presentation is going to tell the story as to what they did so beautifully. So I will hand it over to, I believe, Chloe and Sarah are speaking about our program impact next.
Yes, thank you so much, Amy. I'm thrilled to be leading us through the impact highlights from last school year, which was also our last fiscal year. My name's Chloe Laporte. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm our newly minted Chief Program Officer. If I'm new to you, then I'm also I've been with the organization since 2016. And you can go to the next slide, Anna. So last year with our Radiant G Circle and with our Radiant G curriculum, which as a reminder, our Radiant G curriculum is our curriculum that increases girls' self-efficacy for girls in 3rd through 12th grade. So across all of our service regions, we served 1,973 girls. So also knowing what Amy just shared about how last year we had to retract a little bit and we had to really skim down as much as possible, staffing wise and administratively, to be able to continue to serve such a huge volume of girls across the state really shows the hustle and heart that our team poured into serving girls with our Radiant G curriculum. And this Radiant G curriculum is offered in schools, conferences, camps, places in the community, juvenile justice settings. So that's where our curriculum was delivered to almost 2,000 girls last year. I wanted to pause here and read a quote for you from one of our school partners. Every year we deliver an evaluation for feedback to every school partner that we have. We call them our school champions to hear from them directly. How has Girls Empowerment Network impacted your girls? How have you experienced it as a school leader and as an advocate for our programs? And how can we improve? And every year I have to tell y'all that it's always really glowing feedback for our staff, always really beautiful things about the way that our girls experience the program and the changes that school partners have seen on their campus. But this one really stood out to us as really highlighting the changes this year. Girls Empowerment Network opens the dialogue for our girls to have amongst each other, and it gives them a safe space that assures understanding and patience. For the young elementary students, this is something that does not come easy, and being able to have an opportunity to do so makes it easier for them as they grow. So this was from one of our school partners in Del Valle ISD. We have a very deep partnership with Del Valle ISD, and we get to serve elementary through high school there. This image is so exciting to me as someone who has seen the growth of our programs across the state of Texas over the many years that I've been with the organization. You can see that we are in several counties now across Texas, all the way over in Jasper County, which I was lucky enough to go to this program out in Jasper, which is almost Louisiana. And so getting to see that our programs have stretched that wide. Up in Dallas County, you can see that we're out in Caldwell, of course, many programs in Harris, many programs in Travis. And you can see in the different counties how many girls we reached last year through our Radiant G curriculum. And I wanted to highlight that last year we brought back our Radiant G conference, which was in Austin and Houston, and we served 874 girls with our Radiant G conference. We also served 112 girls through our juvenile justice program. So that was at the McLennan County MART facility, but also in what are called DAEPs that are in Austin. So schools that serve girls who are impacted by the juvenile justice system here in Central Texas. Our Spark Change Project, our collaborative project with the Excellence Project, served 31 girls last year. And we also served 239 adults and allies with our programs. So if you're unfamiliar with that, of course, you're learning about our self-efficacy building programs for girls. And we also have a companion curriculum for adults and allies where we get to do caregiver workshops, professional development workshops, and corporate presentations to help really ignite the power in our network as well. So we're surrounding our girls with adults who really care about them and can help them navigate all of the skills that we're teaching them as well. And I'm going to read to you some of the quotes straight from our girls. We give an evaluation when a girl enters our program, our Radiant G Circle, a pre-survey for her, and then at the end of our program to really measure the growth of her self-efficacy and to really know that we're doing what we say we're doing and we're really proving our impact with increasing girls' self-efficacy. So we always give an evaluation to our girls, and these are some of the things that our girls said last year. So a St. Elmo elementary student said, girls can do and be anything. At Provan, this is one of our DAEPs, our Provan Opportunity Center student said, Juvenile Justice Girl Connect teaches us to have boundaries, communicate better, and have better self-love and worth. And at Yes Prep Northside, which is in Houston, at Northside Secondary, a student said, empowerment is confidence to be bold with knowledge of the world. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to our Director of Impact, Dr. Sarah Miller Fellows, to guide you through some more of our impact highlights from last school year.
Thank you so much, Chloe. Hi, I'm Dr. Sarah Miller Fellows. My pronouns are she, her, and I am the Director of Impact here at Girls Empowerment Network. One of those, in choosing those quotes, I wanted to highlight one of our findings this year, which is that our best sort of impact, our strongest impact, was in critical thinking, bonding, and positive identity. Could you actually pop back to the previous slide for a second, Anna? Thank you. And I picked these quotes thinking about that and thinking about what do our girls have to say about that? What does it mean for them to have strong critical thinking? So those things about boundaries and communication, having knowledge of the world and confidence and being bold, and also bonding, the ability, as our Del Valle ISD partner shared, to really be able to have spaces where girls are supported and they are supported in community with each other is just such a core of our work. Thank you so much. Can you move to the next one? So every year, our goal is that at least 75% of our multi-session attendees, so girls that attend programs where we have multiple sessions with the same group of girls, the core of that is our Radiant G Circle, but also our Juvenile Justice Girl Connect program, that 75% of those show an increase in at least one area of self-efficacy that we're trying to target. And as you can see, as usual, our program team absolutely blew that out of the water. This year, we had 88% of students showing increases in at least one of those outcome domains that we measure. And we measure a total of 10 outcome areas. And almost half of our students this year showed increases in 4 or more domains. One of the amazing strengths of our Radiant G curriculum is the way that our facilitators are able to tailor it to the unique needs of each group of girls that's in front of them. If a group is having a lot of struggles within their grade with bullying or with friend groups that are getting really cliquey and maybe not having the most healthy behaviors, and we hear that from a school champion, they're going to really focus on positive peer bonding. They're going to focus a lot on communication skills, and they're going to choose modules that really highlight the areas that girls most need support. In other groups, maybe girls are really struggling more internally. They need some good coping skills. They need to be able to manage the stress that's happening in school and outside of school. And we're going to lead into the parts of our curriculum that really give girls those skills. And that's why when we say we want them to have increases in at least one domain, it's really a reflection of the way that our program is really tailored to meet the needs of each unique group of girls. Can you show me the next slide, please? And for those who've been to previous town halls, this is probably not a surprise, but it's always a wonderful thing to report. We're now at a data set of almost 2,000 matched pre and post surveys for girls who have attended our programs. And in every domain that we measure within that 5-year database, we see significant increases in girls' self-efficacy, which is an incredibly powerful statistic. We see year over year the strength of our program and the way that it just continues to really improve the lives of girls through building their self-efficacy in those core 7 skis, and also providing opportunities for positive peer bonding and to really feel good about who they are as girls. Can you please click over to the next slide? And I believe I'm handing it off. All of these successes were truly made possible by you. And I'm going to go ahead and hand it off to our next speaker. Thank you all so much for attending Town Hall. And I'd be happy to answer some questions if we have time at the end.
Thank you so much, Sarah. I'm our next speaker. We can go ahead and go to the next slide. For those who don't know me, my name is Cameron Sampson. I use she, her pronouns, and I am our... Oh, wait, I am not the next slide. LOL. It is actually Brittany. Brittany, can I pass the mic to you?
You absolutely can, Cameron. And then I'm so excited for you to introduce yourself. Y'all, so happy to see you. My name is Brittany Elverton. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and I am the Chief Community Officer here at Girls Empowerment Network, who has spent almost 12 years in community with you all, and it has been an absolute joy. And I have the distinct honor of shouting you all out, which is my favorite thing to do, because we have got an incredibly engaged community of volunteers, supporters, and advocates, not only across the state, but literally across the nation, and I would argue internationally, because we have had folks mail in relatable role model letters and affirmation bookmarks from Brazil and London and South Africa and Australia. So know that you are an incredible global company when you are doing this great work of gender justice. But I wanted to quantify it because I think it makes a huge impact to know when we come together collectively, the movement we can make on this needle towards gender justice is immense. So, in this last fiscal year, we had over 1,100 unique volunteers across the state, nation, and beyond. We contributed, you all, I should say, contributed nearly 10,000 volunteer hours. And when you consider the fact that we are a medium-sized nonprofit and we are solely in the state of Texas doing on-the-ground work, that is a ton of time that you have committed to this agency, an impact that you have made by giving the one finite gift you have, which is your time. It is like the one finite resource we all have. And so that is a huge gift to our agency. And lastly, for those of you who also love a little bit of data, I looked at what is the national and the Texas state specific valuation of one volunteer hour as an in-kind donation. And y'all, if you take those almost 10,000 volunteer hours and equate them to a monetary value of in-kind time donated, it is over $300,000 that you have given to us. So, and that you've really given to girls, showing up as relatable role models, helping to share your story, helping to talk about when you utilize the 7Cs in your life, whether that is the time that you really leaned into coping skills in your own adolescence, or what it looks like for you to be a confident communicator and leader in your community today. And I will say that we know representation matters. We know this conceptualization of if I can see it, I can be it is a game changer for girls in our programs. And so when you show up, regardless of your gender, your background, how many days you volunteered with us, what it looks like, even if you volunteer once a year at the conference and that's what you have capacity for, it changes the trajectory of girls' lives in vast ways that you will never see, but that we kind of get to see a little bit doing these programs. So I just want to say thank you because you are part of the network. You are the N in Girls Empowerment Network. You are the N of GEN. And so we had to shout you out. So thank you for letting me sneak in a volunteer celebration slide, Cameron. I want to go ahead and pass to you next, but thanks for letting me love on our wonderful humans that support and prop up our mission truly every single day. Cameron, our Deputy Director, can I pass it over to you now to talk a little bit more about what we've accomplished, how we've grown?
No, for sure. I was way too eager to share more with you all. Thanks so much, Brittany, and thank you to everybody who spoke already. Going back into my intro that I had just gotten started, like Brittany said, my name is Cameron Sampson. I use she, her pronouns, and I am our Deputy Director. If my face is pretty familiar to you, it's probably because I was more heavily in our program space, specifically in the Houston area last year around this time of this town hall. But as of this January, I moved more into our executive space. So instead of sharing out about like girl numbers, stories of the schools we're serving in Houston, I get to share about fun things like numbers with dollar signs in front of them. So we can go ahead and go to the next slide. Yes, so I get to talk about all of our money and then also some big agency updates to expect for this year. So as you can see on this screen, these are our financial from fiscal year 2023 to 2024. As indicated by the asterisk, these numbers are not yet audited, and as well as I know the numbers are teeny tiny and all the details are small, but there's a couple indications that this is a draft of a soft close. Our our accounting firm is still wrapping up closing for the end of the year, but these numbers are pretty close to perfect. So what all these numbers tell you is that we had a pretty financially stable year. Like Amy mentioned at the beginning of our slide deck, we had a really hard year the year before, and we were not alone. The whole entire nonprofit sector was suffering when it came to giving. And so we had to make some major changes to our budget. Like Amy indicated earlier, first, our staff, we had to lay off 30% of our staff. We had to cut programs like camp. And we had to dig into our reserves and so spend some of those savings that we had, because if we didn't, then we would have had to lay off even more of our staff. So even though we had to make all these transitions, we didn't know what to expect for the year that was coming. We turned out all right. We made it to the end. We made it to this next fiscal year. And we were only able to do that because, just like everybody kept saying, we can go ahead and go to the next slide. Huge thanks to supporters like the ones like y'all and the ones that are listed on this slide. Without the generous contributions of these folks, we would not be able to serve the girls of Texas. I don't know about y'all, but I know that girls, women, gender expansive youth, and adults have such great needs, specifically in the state of Texas, because the state of Texas doesn't love us as much as we love it. And so programs like Girls Empowerment Network are vital right now. And so just major thanks to these folks who make it possible so that we can get on the grounds with these girls statewide. And we can go ahead and go to the next slide. And also, thank you to our strategic community partners. Y'all are the folks that we're able to expand our reach of girls that we serve, whether it's with the actual girls or through expanding our capacity. I was sharing with somebody at a summit that I attended that nonprofits in particular, but especially nonprofits that serve girls, there's this tendency to crowd, right? There's not enough pie to share with everybody. But what the reality is that the needs of our girls and youth today are so vast that we need more nonprofits like Girls Empowerment Network, like the Girl Scouts, like Girls Inc., to show up for our girls in all the areas because they have such great needs. And so we're only able to do that with the support of folks like the ones listed on this slide as well. All right, we can go ahead and go to the next one. All right, so shifting into fiscal year 24-25, this started on September 1st. When we were prepping the budget for this year, we knew that we wanted this budget to tell a story, and we knew that we needed to ground ourselves in what our priorities were going to be for the year, because left to our own devices, we're going to try to do as many things as possible to serve as many girls as we can. But we wanted to ground ourselves in what the reality is. And so first and foremost, we wanted to show that we have this deep commitment to the staff. We've had a hard couple of years since the COVID-19 pandemic. And there's a lot of folks on staff right now who have waded through all these troubling waters with us and are still here and are still passionate and are still ignited to serve the girls in the state of Texas. So we wanted to invest in them. And they made sure to let us know that they need some support. We need some direct service support. We need some fundraising support. So we've recently hired new direct service employees in Central Texas and Austin. We also hired a new direct service employee to support our juvenile justice program. And we have a new fundraising employee on our teams. Grace, if you're here, hello. If you're not, y'all send some wiggle fingers Grace's way. She's joining our team as our development lead. Second, if you were part of Town Hall last year, you heard that we were adding a 7th seat called Change Making. This year is all about showing that deep commitment to that 7th seat, really showing up and highlighting how much this has already been a part of our programs and our mission before, but how we're going to make sure it's more known to our broader network. And I get the fortunate opportunity to share with all of you, if you have not heard already, that it was announced that in tandem with the Excellence Project, us and them, we were awarded $500,000 from the St. David's Foundation to expand our Spark Change Project program over the course of the next 2 years. Huge deal. Very, very huge deal that we are so excited about it, that more girls of color get to learn how to use their voice and advocate for the things that matter to them. And that's just one example of how change making is about to really show up at Girls Empowerment Network this coming fiscal year. Yes, Amy, taking girls to DC in 2026. Wild. The crowd goes wild. If you are going wild right now, I am there with you. Yes, woo. Yes. The staff know I get easily distracted by the chat because I get FOMO and I just want to be in there celebrating with everybody else. Yes, shout out to our change-making advocates, Anna O'Quinn and Adrian Torres. Yes. Love the celebrations. All right, and then lastly, our last budget priority, that's our priority every single year, is to stay financially stable and raise the revenue to make sure that we can serve the girls that need us. And we want to get to a point where we can begin building back those reserves that we had to spend. I see that future. I'm really optimistic about it, but we may have to make sure that our budget plans showed that. So we can go ahead and go to the next slide. All right, so this is our budget revenue plan for this coming fiscal year. If you were part of Town Hall last year, I doubt you remember the exact numbers that were listed, But if you do, you might notice that there are increases in various areas. This was done very strategically based off of the campaigns we're anticipating that we're going to be participating in, the grants that we're anticipating writing out. And we have so many more folks on our team who want to support fundraising. We've let a lot more of our staff into the reality of what it is like to raise dollars for an organization, the reality of what it means to make sure we have the resources we need to meet the needs of the girls in Texas. And a lot of folks are raising their hand and being like, hey, I want to commit that this year I'm going to raise X amount of dollars through X, Y, and Z. And it's really exciting, and it's I'm going to talk about our values in a little bit, but one of our new values is related to power sharing. And what is more powerful in power sharing than everyone contributing to how we raise dollars to serve the girls that we need to? So yes, that is our budget revenue plan. And if we go to the next slide, we're going to see more info about our budget expense plan. She's teeny tiny. I'm so sorry. I did my best to get it as visible, but also as transparent and informative as it could be. So sorry if you can't read the numbers, but what it's saying is that those same priorities that I just listed, that investment into staff, that investment into change making, and our ability to just keep things a little lighter on the light side so that we can get to the point where we can build back reserves one day. And at the bottom, you see there's a tiny little surplus of $243, but what that means is just we're planning to perform very on target with our revenue plan. So that's it about money. I also get to share about some big agency updates that are coming along the way. New leadership. I am the representation of the new leadership. If you do not know, in December of 2023, our previous CEO, who had been with the organization for 17 years, ended her time at Girls Empowerment Network. So starting in January, both Amy and I moved into interim executive roles. And then this past June, those roles became permanent. So this will be the first full fiscal year of us permanently in our roles. And we are just so excited to take y'all on along for the ride. Next, our commitment to our 7th C of change making. I've already highlighted that in the last couple of slides, but I'm really excited for y'all to hear from Monica about the conference and how it's going to show up there. Next, we have new values on our website. Like I was just mentioning before, if you go check out our website, if you go under our mission portion, scroll to the bottom, there used to be 3 beautiful values that showed the kind of organization that we were at that time, but we're a new org now. And so I wrote them down just like they have much better details and paragraphs at the bottom of them, but I want to highlight top level for y'all. They are growing collective power, girl and youth-centered always, gender liberation, and genuine and compassionate. So again, you're probably hearing them and you're like, that is very Girls Empowerment Network. It is, but now we're saying it louder and prouder than ever before. Yes, all the radiant G's. And then lastly, if you are in Central Texas and live close to our Austin office, we are going to be a polling place. So come vote with us on November 5th. Oh, I'm just checking the chat. Yes, thank you, Amy, for adding those full deets there. But yes, come vote with us on November 5th. And that is it. I'm going to pass the mic over to Monica.
All right, y'all. Thanks for being here. I mean, 53 participants, that's a big deal. Anna, I'll let you go to our conference slide. So, as Cam mentioned, I'm Monica. I am the project coordinator at Girls Empowerment Network, and I have the utmost privilege of being able to design and lead and execute our yearly conferences, both in Austin and Houston. So I am a statewide employee, and I have quite a tenured, not even quite, that's a lie, because some of the people here very tenured at Girls Empowerment Network. I have a slight tenure at Girls Empowerment Network. But as we've mentioned, change making has become so important to us that we really want to make it the forefront of what we're working on this year. And being able to name that for girls is also really relevant and important now more than ever, because it's something that they see all the time, every day in media. They're so much more connected to world events than we ever were as young people. So it's important for us to show up and say, you can do incredible things and you can be a leader for change. We want to really drive home the message this year that regardless of your age, if you are qualified to vote or not, right? So being 18, if you are a legal citizen, if English is your first language, all of those things, you can still be an agent for change and lead with power and vision. So this year's theme for conference is change makers and table shakers. And we're really excited to be able to roll this out to girls all across Central Texas and Houston. Next slide, please, Anna. So what you're looking at here is a great big block of text, but I will read it for you since it was so beautifully put together by Anna, and I think it really drives home the message that we're hoping to lead with this year. And it's that girls are powerful people who are ready to shake things up. They're change makers and table shakers, active participants and leaders of the Radiant G Conference. At the forefront of change, they take bold steps to address the issues that matter most to them and become passionate advocates for equity, education, mental health, and social justice. No longer content with just taking a seat at the table, youth are ready to demand and ensure their voices are heard as they challenge outdated norms and push for more inclusive and equitable spaces. This year's theme is more than just a theme. It's a call to action for girls and the people who care about them to shake things up and take charge of change for the future of all girls everywhere. At the Radiant G Conference, girls are not passive observers, but active participants, leading discussions, presenting ideas, and collaborating on solutions with peers and relatable role models. This theme celebrates the unstoppable power and potential of girls as active leaders. So once again, just as the group of moms kind of thought whenever they first created Girls Empowerment Network in 1996, there's no such thing as other people's daughters, and there's no such thing as other girls. We really want to lead with this and ensure that every single girl, regardless of where they live in Texas and across the country, really can take it home and say, I am a change maker. So that leads us to the very exciting details of what this conference in Austin will entail. So who, what, where? We have for this year, conference showing up once again to Keeling Middle School. If you joined us last year, it'll be at the exact same place. If you haven't joined us yet, I hope to see you there. It will be on November 16th this year, so a little bit later than we did last year, 9 a.m. to 2:30 with doors opening at 8 a.m. So once again, girls in 3rd through 8th grade and the people who care about them are who we're hoping to show up. And really, this is for any and everyone who supports a young person in their lives, because we do serve youth across the gender spectrum and we do offer childcare on site. So don't worry if you have more than one kiddo. Don't worry about if I have a teenager, if I have a husband or a son. We really want everyone who is anyone to be there and support us. And really, a new exciting development that we've rolled out this year is we want to keep our suggested ticket price at $50 because it is reflective of what we want to honor the worth and the value of our program, but we also understand that a program is not a program if it isn't accessible. Therefore, we want to eliminate any kind of administrative barrier that comes to scholarship applications and create a sliding scale model where all attendees can choose their own price point and attend without any kind of restriction or any kind of question of whether or not someone is worthy or qualified for receiving aid. We want everyone to join us regardless of means or any other kind of barrier that might be available to them. So that is really exciting to be able to do this year because we recognize that, now more than ever with inflation and diminishing discretionary funds for schools, that this is an important resources for families and schools. So any way that we can get it into the hands of girls is what we're going to do. We have such a great honor and privilege of having Vanessa Fuentes, who is Austin City Council member for District 2, where I was born and raised in Austin, join us as one of the honorary co-chairs, as well as Amanda Zarowski, who is a reproductive rights advocate And if you are unfamiliar with either of their work, I would highly suggest getting involved and Googling them and kind of looking up what they do. Vanessa Fuentes is incredible, always at the forefront of change in Austin. And Amanda has been all around the news. Maybe you saw her at the DNC. Maybe you've heard her name dropped across many speeches by one particular political candidate. But we really rally for what is autonomy and the voice of each individual girl. So we're really thrilled to be able to have someone who supports that autonomy join us. And our keynote speaker will be Denise Hernandez, another Austin legend, community organizer and presiding judge over County Court at Law number 6. She's incredible. I love her so dearly, and she just has a story that resonates so much with youth in Austin as someone who is like a child of immigrant parents and who was a first gen college graduate, like all of the things that really resonate with a lot of the girls that we work with. So this lineup has me really, really excited, and I hope that you're able to join us this year. And you might be wondering, how do I do that? How do I show up for girls this year? And let me tell you, we have a few options. Oh yeah, be a change maker for ATX girls. So you can buy a ticket for a girl in your life. So remember that sliding scale, you can now name your price. Whatever Flow has at Progressive Name Your Price tool, we have that too. That's not just for her. So you can get a ticket for a girl in your life, for yourself, whatever you want to do. You can volunteer to support the conference. I know many of my gal girlies will be there volunteering. You can also give in kind through our wish list. So we have things on there that help support the conference, like actual badge materials or adapters for our workshop presenters and things to make tutus to get people all hype and celebratory and really bring the magic to the event. So you're always welcome to join us in those 3 ways. And I also have to do a special plug for our wonderful change-making manager, Anna L. Quinn. She has asked that if you really, really love the theme of change making and are committed to learning more about the work that we do in the arena of change making, you can join our advocacy alerts. I am putting the link in the chat. But that newsletter will share all of the different things that we're working on, especially as we go into next year, which is a legislative session year. So you'll be able to hear about all of the wonderful testimony that girls give at the Capitol and the work that we're doing specifically with policy as it relates to girls and issues that matter to girls. So you can join us in all of those different ways. Next slide, Anna. So join us. I am going to continue to sing that song forevermore. Join us in that capacity. And if you love to volunteer with us and you absolutely love everything that we do, and you're like, how can I possibly get more into my day-to-day life? You can join us as part of the Girl Advocacy League. My gal girls, oof, let out a big yeehaw. We love our gal girlies. So GAL stands for Girl Advocacy League, and these are our wonderful friends and supporters who want to be more involved with the organization beyond a volunteering capacity. So maybe they're folks who volunteer regularly and want to create more of a bond with fellow volunteers. Maybe they want to give financially to a degree, but like not $10,000 sponsorship for conference degree, right? We are all in the economy of 2024. So if you're like, I would love to join and I want to be able to know other people in Central Texas and Houston who love gender justice and support Girls Empowerment Network, come join us. We have monthly events and we have different ways of getting involved with Girls Empowerment Network that are unique to GAL outside of our regular volunteering. And we just have a grand old time. So please join us. I see the chat is like, show up, show up. So absolutely do that. We have all of the different ways that you can stay in touch with us. I believe our next slide has the QR code to our website where you can learn about all of the other things like how to be a gal member, how to follow us on socials, getting your merch for us. If you're like, I need to make sure I have my Girls Empowerment Network shirt before conference, order her now. Sign up for our newsletter, volunteer, all of the wonderful things. You can always join us in whatever capacity that you can, and that can always change over time. And we'll still love you throughout it all. So that's my little section. Who am I passing it back to?
You're passing it back to me, Monica,
Wonderful.
because you may have read this, everyone, but there's a raffle involved in this town hall tonight. So I know you are here because you are thrilled about our mission and you are ready to advance this work. But also, what a nice addition it would be if you, in fact, won, I don't know, a Kendra Scott piece of beautifully handcrafted jewelry or another great piece of Girls Empowerment Network merch that you haven't had a chance to win yet, or to purchase, or to be gifted from the loved ones of your life. So we're going to make your wildest dreams come true with the raffle. And we are going to do that raffle by kind of generating three random numbers, I believe it is, based on where you are in the queue of the people in this room. But before we move on to the raffle, I wanted to see two things. One, does anybody have a question that they were like, ooh, I love that you mentioned this, but I want a little more clarity. I want a little bit more context. Or in the chat, did anybody have anything they learned tonight that really stood out to them? So those are the two things you can kind of like marinate on, if you will, and the lemon juice of your thoughts. Either, do you have a follow-up question? Is there anything you want more clarity on or something you hoped we would cover at Town Hall that Girls Empowerment Network staff didn't have the opportunity to speak to yet? You can type that in the chat, or you can even raise your little emoji hand to come off of silence or mute, or you can just type in the chat for me. Was there one maybe piece of information, a data point, a stat that you learned that really surprised you, made you feel excited or elated to be part of the agency? I want to give you 1 minute to type that in the chat. I'm excited to hear from you. Oh, Devin. Thank you, Devin, for sharing. Very excited about the conference. Will both the Austin and Houston conferences have the same theme? They will. They'll have the same theme, but different co-chairs and different featured speakers. So it's going to be people that are really part of that Houston community, that have been invested, that are leaders, that are real kind of community connectors there, that the youth in that space and in that community could be the most thrilled to see. But it's going to be for that continuity of really highlighting the seventh C of change making. You'll see that the theme will remain the same, but the content will change vastly because we get to meet the girls where they're at. And every community of girls has different needs, different challenges, different interests. So that's one of the things that's really helpful, I think, about our adaptability and flexibility and expertise. That was a great question, Devin. Thank you so much. Patricia says, love the new C. Also, Patricia just happens to be a leader for Girl Advocacy League in Houston. So maybe befriend Patricia and say a quick hello. She said, will the Spark Change Project reach girls mostly in Austin or across Texas? That's a great question. Right now, our cohort of Spark Change facilitators is Austin based, but Amy or Cameron, do you want to speak to what this will look like with this massive infusion of support from St. David's?
Sure, yes. So the easiest answer is probably that Girls Empowerment Network will make that happen. St. David's and the Excellence Project are both very Austin and Central Texas focused, but the funding that we have been granted is unrestricted in nature. And Girls Empowerment Network is very focused on the state. And we're a little bit kind of extra obsessed with Houston in particular, because we have a very long waiting list of schools that want to work with us, and like more requests than we could ever fulfill. So we're really trying to pour into that area. And that includes expanding, more of our youth ambassador and youth advisory council members there, more board members there. And so when I think about using that money to get girls to DC in 2026, I'm like, oh, Houstonian girls are coming with us. We have to do the work to make all that happen and to build the program, but that definitely is our hope. And I know I can extra speak for Cameron when I say all of those parts and pieces.
That's a great response. Thank you so much for that question. I'm seeing some shout outs for the volunteer hours. Also, super thrilled about that. Thank you to our lovely friends who noticed that and thought that was something that was really beautiful and highlighting. Chandana, I see you in the chat. Um, oh, Kayla had a great question or a great kind of piece of feedback, which is the impact report was great. It was specifically meaningful to hear from girls' perspectives. And we are always, once again, platforming girls' voices. It's why we are so intentionally focused on evaluation and impact, and pre and post surveys, because You don't know what you don't know. And as adults, someone who's slightly removed from girlhood, it is very, very important that we rely on the people that are experts in girlhood. And those are girls. Those are the youth we serve. So glad to hear that that resonated with folks. Love it, love it, love it. Ooh, word on the street is that some people are working to try to get Jasmine Crockett as one of the co-chairs or chairs for the Houston conference. So if you happen to be best friends with Representative Jasmine Crockett, maybe just shoot us an email. Otherwise, we've been talking to some people on her staff, and it's been a delight to be able to see someone in our state be such a phenomenal and fierce and fearless advocate. Lovely. Oh, I'm so glad that so many people are excited about data. Excited that people are thrilled that we're a polling location. Let's see. Anna, I want to, for sake of time, I want to make sure we can celebrate these amazing raffle winners. So please keep your questions coming. We'll drop our email in the email, not in the email. We'll drop our email in the chat, but you know that we're
I'm
always
gonna pause you, Brittany, because I'm gonna be like, I think
Oh,
there's a question that is important enough to make sure we give some airtime to.
oh,
I'd like Cam to speak to where we're
I didn't
headed
see it.
with Houston.
Was just about to add it in the
Oh,
chat.
great
Thank you,
question.
Amy. Yeah. Well, the question is, do we have projected areas we want to reach out to next in Austin, Texas, and Houston and surrounding areas? So, as you all keep hearing us speak to, we're really present in both Central Texas and Houston. But what you may not know is that we also have services that we deliver in Dallas. And that is an area that we are really working on building out because the need is so there. However, the area of Dallas is just very different when it comes culturally to Austin and Houston. And so we're up against a lot over there, but we're not going to back down. We're still going to show up for our girls, and we're looking for more supporters in that area. So if you have connections, if you have family, if you have folks you just know who are ignited by our mission located in Dallas or North Texas, please get them connected to us.
That's a great. I mean, Cameron, you know what we always say. Our strategic vision and goal is to take over Texas and then the world. But as we all know, Texas is a big enough place to start, and it is where we are committed, it is where we have laid our roots, it is where we're doing this incredibly important work. So thank you so much for pointing that out. That was a great, great, great question. I'm so glad somebody asked it. Any other questions? I will tell you all, this is not a speak now or forever hold your peace kind of situation. Y'all know we love an email. So this is a speak now or speak tomorrow or in 3 or 4 days or in like, just text me on a Tuesday morning. It's fine. We're excited to hear from you. Oh, Crystal, well, your daughter will be welcomed with open arms when she is old enough to participate in our programs. So any girls in your life, no matter how they show up, we are here for them. That being said, this has been a joyous celebration. This has been a whirlwind of incredibly impactful data that you all have ingested. I want to pass it over, I believe, to Anna, our
Yeah,
director of marketing, to pull the raffle, or is it Chelsea? Who gets to pull these winners?
I did the numbers. I will say it was a little challenge with not getting staff. Our staff is lucky. I kept getting staff numbers. We don't want staff numbers. We want our supporters and other attendees. Hello, everyone. My name is Anna. I'm the marketing director. I have been just here listening and learning a lot. I hope that all of this content resonated with you, that you felt that all of this is made possible because of your support. So thank you for being here. And in appreciation for that, we pulled 3 numbers. I got number 7, Audrey Garcia, and I just counted down on my list. Okay, so if your name is Audrey Garcia, winner. Can I get some wiggle fingers? Winner, winner, winner. Okay, great. Audrey's still here. Amazing, amazing. Okay, great. I got number 24, which is Kayla Vargas. So Kayla, are you here? Wiggle fingers. Kayla. Yay. Okay, congrats. Okay, winner, winner, winner. And then I got number 17, which was Jason Castillo. Is Jason here? Do you have a Jason? Jason, are you here? Maybe, maybe not. I think so. He's here when I pull the number. Okay, great. Well, those are our raffle winners. So please stay tuned. We will get you some information for those community donated items. They're really cool. I heard that there's some items there that everyone will enjoy. So get excited for those raffle prices. And thank you for being here. I don't know if I'm passing it back to you, Britt, if we are continuing doing question and answers, or if we're ready to wrap it up and continue with our Monday evening. What do we think? we'll wrap it up.
I think we're ready to wrap up this boat. Who wants to lead us out? Cameron, do you want to close us out of here and tell all these lovely humans to go out into the world and do good?
I sure can. So, in true Girls Empowerment Network fashion, when we end any program with our girls, we have a bump question to help wrap it up, tie the bow, right? What is so one thing you're going to remember from our time together today? And so, I want everybody in the chat for our bump question to put one word that describes how you are feeling after hearing all of this exciting data, updates, money info that Cameron might have shared. Like, how are you leaving town hall tonight? Put it in the chat. Oop, oop, here they come. Pumped, empowered, jazzed, impactful, hopeful. And oh my gosh, my vision is messing up for me right now. Empowered, inspired, excited. Charlotte says, yay, same Charlotte. Yay is a big feeling over here. Thankful, connected. Oh, I love all of these. Amazed, activated. Oh, that's such a good one, Sarah. Good one. Activated. Oh my gosh. Well, I'm leaving this call feeling so full of joy. I've got black eyed peas on stove right now that I'm about to go tear up with my family. Thank y'all so much for joining us. We hope to see y'all at our conference in November. And yeah, I'm sure I'll see plenty of y'all soon. Y'all have a great rest of your evening. Bye.
Hi, everyone.